Alright, let's try it this time. Good evening, everyone. If somebody's in chat, I could use an audio check. Otherwise, I'm going to be flying blind here. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about what I would call a surprise subject. And this surprise subject had to do with, thank you, Laurie, has to do with the internet, of course, and something I started noticing a while back, and it basically has to do with someone who is a regular visitor to this live stream. And I thought I would do a little segment on it, since this is a rather interesting post, as it gets around to something that I have been trying to get people to do, and this individual has done precisely that. Now, if I can find the slide, which, of course, I forgot to transfer over here, so bear with me a second. But as we're waiting for that, there's been a couple things going on. David Strait seems to be getting more and more negative publicity, all due to Timothy Charles Homestead. And the latest thing I have found on the internet, over on Telegram, is he is now being accused of attempted murder. And this is by none other than Tim Homestead and his bunch over there. And it's been a steady stream of negativity as more and more people decide that they are no longer going to support David Strait. So I suppose we should be thankful for that. Okay, well, all my regulars are in here. And as I started to say before I got into my little monologue about David Strait, I have always told people that they should do their own research. Don't believe me, don't believe anybody else. Do your own checking and so forth to make sure that you are comfortable with what you believe and what you don't believe. And as some of you know, I have people that come in here that disagree with me on a lot of issues, politically and otherwise, but to varying degrees. They believe what I say about Tim Homestead and company, and also about what other people say about him, in the varying degrees of belief or disbelief that they have in Timmy. And last week on my stream, Kim Picasio was kind enough to come in here and visit. And there was an individual who called herself Cherry who came in here and got into a bit of a discussion with Kim Picazio. And the discussion got rather blunt. Cherry made it clear that she had no interest in believing Kim Picazio and never will respect her or what have you. So this is a person that is definitely locked into the Timothy Charles Holmseth mantra: lock, stock, and barrel. Well, it was something of a surprise when my chat appeared the next day on a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is owned by Sarah Seeks Truth. Now, all of you know Sarah. She comes in here quite frequently. She follows me over on Twitter. And she kind of adds a little bit of spark to the chat as she speaks her mind. But I was rather intrigued with this video she did, and I am going to play it for all of you so that you understand what I was talking about just a few minutes ago. And this is her YouTube channel, and I am going to play this video calling Sharing Screenshots from the Desk of Witness 1 Live. There's also another one on here that I'm going to try and play. So let me start this. And
hey everybody, happy Sunday. I just wanted to pop on here and do this quick video to show you guys these comments that I thought were interesting and that I'm going to be looking more into. Probably not today, but next week. So there I am, Sarah Seeks Truth at the top, and I had noticed that Kim Picazio, who is a part of the whole like Timothy Charles Holmseth, Randy Erickson, Craig Sawyer stuff. She's a lawyer out of Florida, I believe. But I asked her if the harassment case versus Randy is over and done with, because last I knew she defaulted on it, so it was going to be dismissed. And she responded and said 3 cases are pending. There are 3 warrants out of Minnesota and 1 warrant out of Florida for Timothy and Randy. I'm not sure if it's both of them or just Timothy or just Randy she's referring to. I'm assuming Timothy because other people in this thread were talking about Timothy. Turn in Timothy Holmseth and make some cash when he's arrested. Someone else said. And then I asked, where can I find more info on the cases? And there was a person named Cherry in the chat. K Picazio right there. Cherry, no one uses that. She's talking to the Cherry person in the chat who a lot of people thought was Randy in just using a different screen name. And let's see. Okay, so I just said 6 high-level Illuminati assassins are allegedly after Tim. And then I would like to see any information you have that you can share, Kim. That would be so helpful for me. Kim. They can't think for themselves. I'm trying to find the other comments that Kim said. Cherry, did Tim tell you that I offered him in writing through the prosecutor no jail time if he would just plead guilty and leave me alone? So that was new to me. And then Kim here says, Cherry, he was offered no jail time. He'd rather pretend to run so he can continue to milk donations from people like you. I'm sorry he's doing that to you. And that's it. That's all she said. She never really, at one point she did say there was like 178 page case filing that explains the stuff with Timothy, that all the things that have happened with Timothy. So I just found this interesting that she said that Tim was offered no jail time if he would plea and guilty for like stalking and harassing her and saying things about her, which I just went to Twitter, and if you go to Twitter, you can, right here, look, I looked up like Kim Picasio and Randy Erickson, and this is what came up, but I found it interesting that there was Picasio Gate. Hashtag Picasio Gate was like kind of, I guess, popular on Twitter at some point, because when I went to look that up, a lot of information from that old task force came up. See that old task force, Task Force 26686, and they were talking about Picasio Gate. And I need to look more into this. I don't know the whole story, but from where I'm standing so far, Timothy just doesn't look like a good guy, in my opinion. So I'm just trying to figure out what the truth is. You know, there's always two sides to a story, and then somewhere in between is the truth. So if anybody has any information, even Jody did hashtag Picasio.
Okay, now the point I'm making here is Sharp is actually not taking anybody's word from either side. She's checking on her own to try and get the truth as to what's going on, which I have always said people should do. Don't take my word for it. Don't take anybody else's word for it. Don't take Timmy's word for it. Do your own homework and then decide for yourself. So I'm glad she's doing that. I would encourage people to go over to her channel and watch it, because she's quite thorough. I've actually learned a few things about people that I didn't realize, and so it helps in that. Now I'm going to address a couple comments that she made on here. Picasio Gate was something that was made up by Timmy and Randy around the time that Phil McConnell started talking about Kim Picasio and expanded on it. They have a habit of making up these hashtags deliberately so that they would be showing up on social media searches as well as eBay and Google, or not eBay, but Google searches and so forth. And so the Picasio Gate is actually came from Pizzagate. Now, Glow clarified it for as far as what the arrest warrants were. Timmy does have arrest warrants in both the state of Florida and Minnesota, and Randy has the arrest warrant for failure to appear, just like Timmy did. Now, what I don't know is if there is a felony warrant for either one of these two or not. Now, as I did report, there was a listing of an outstanding warrant out of Minnesota in another city where Timmy used to live, and I have not been able to get the level of that. I assumed it was a felony, and I may be incorrect in that, but it's a really old case, and it's hard to get information on it. The law enforcement agency up there in Thief River Falls is trying to track down the information for me, but it's kind of hard to do with these old cases. Is sometimes they archive them and they're not around anymore. But they're the other. Let's see if I can get this to work. The other video that she did that might be of interest to you folks is something called that she calls "The Truth Doesn't Mind Being Questioned," and this. All right, hold on. What I'm going to do is
rather quickly, and they will be ridiculed by Jesse and her.
Now, if I understand this, Sheriff, I gather you were talking
Marion.
about this
so right
Jesse
here,
Kozabar situation. But again, this is getting into doing research
and this one right here from Marion, who's
the situation, so you can determine for yourself
information about her
what's
before
going on here.
But she said,
Joker, he did to, he did at one time did say that Sandy Hook was what they call a crisis actor thing, and this is a pattern he does with most of these cases. He's even done it with, he's doing it with the January 6th hearings, and usually through most of the cases. Now the case of Neely Blanchard out of Ocala, he's saying that she was set up. That she's a scapegoat, that and that might be partly true, but I think she was made a scapegoat by Holmseth and Randy, in that they goaded her into doing what she did, got her so angry that she just acted in blind rage and executed him. So, now one thing I'm doing here, because this is probably going to be I know what I did wrong. This is probably going to be somewhat short because I have other things to do tonight. So let's see if this gives me, yep, this gives me what I need. But the Neely Blanchard case, which is coming up next, a little more than a month from now, it's August. We are now nearing the end of June. And unless there's any changes, we're actually got 2 trials having to do with these 2 that are starting up. The Neely Blanchard trial and the Cynthia Adsud trial. And I'm typing away here. So, but what I'm doing is I'm doing a check. Why are we getting? That's interesting. Well, I'm doing something wrong here. Let me go back. Oh, well, that would help. Hitting the wrong key. There we go. Yeah, this thing is very picky when it comes to... Alright. Okay, we've had something come in on the 22nd. I don't know. Let's see. See what this says. Now, I think we got the answer to the increase to the expert witness. This cause came before the court on the defendant's second amended motion to increase expert witness cap as to Harry Kropp, PhD. The court reviewed the motion and the response of the Justice Administration Commission and is fully advised in the matter. Therefore, it is ordered and adjudicated. 1. Harry Kropp, PhD, shall be compensated at the rate of $150 per hour, with a total cap of $4,000 as it relates to the service being performed on the defendant in this case. Done and ordered at Ocala, Marion County, Florida on June 22nd, 2022. So, in the Blanchard case, the expert witness, who is an expert in insanity pleas, has gotten part of what he wanted. Originally, he wanted a raise in his hourly rate as well as the $4,000 cap, but it's been amended to where he's still getting his $150 an hour, but he's getting his cap increased to the $4,000. So that is the latest thing that has been going on with the Blanchard case. There doesn't seem to be anything prior to that, because other than on May 16th we had a discovery, and I think that, let me look at this because this may have been somebody must be hearing Mittens. Yeah, all they've done is they put in names and addresses of witnesses from law enforcement that are going to be appearing at the trial. Now, the latest, the thing that has not changed is that we are going to be going to trial on August 22nd of this year. So it'll be the end of August. So I was a little off. I thought it was the beginning, it's the end, because the August 8th court date is a private conference, I believe. Well, it's a pre-trial conference, and they usually don't broadcast those in any manner. So I will not know of anything coming out of that unless there is a change in the case where they need to do witnesses, evidence, motions, or what have you. So we are getting close to that. Now, the Blanchard case is, or not the, excuse me, the Absug case is still near the beginning of the month. The last I checked, I'm going to be doing another check on that eventually. I have not made a decision whether I'm going to fly up there or not, due to travel expenses and so forth, even though I do have a non-refundable ticket sitting in my travel voucher for the airline. So I'm going to wait and see how that comes out as to whether or not I'm going up there. there has been talk that the defense is working with the prosecution side to do something on the order of possibly a plea bargain or other decision that would preclude a trial, a jury trial. It would probably be a hearings as to what's decided, and that would be that, and that probably would not be worth going up there. So on that regard, that's where we stand with the Absub case. Now, just to double check, I'm reading down. This is an old article, so that's not going to give me what I need. There's been nothing new on Google, so well, Joker, the funny thing about that you bring this up is Task Force has been deemed to be an imposter by the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force Telegram channel. Impersonator, imposter, or whatever you want to make of it. They basically have dismissed Task Force as a fraud. Said that Task Force is not coming in here, and neither is Infiltrated by Truth, that the people that have been coming in here are imposters. Which, the way things they are, I'm going into Telegram to see if any of their stuff is coming up, and they are really laying into David Strait. So they, those close followers of Homeseth have abandoned David Strait completely. They have gone after Bonnie Strait, and as far as anybody's been able to tell on these various sites, I think the David Strait and company are ignoring Tim and his tantrums, if you want to call them that, because they're complaining that David Strait is not answering to Tim in any manner whatsoever. Now, another curious thing on here, there is an individual, Butterfly Mama. Now, she is a strong supporter of these people, I believe, of Timothy Homeseth, and there has been a dispute of sorts between Butterfly Mama and these other individuals, and they basically started attacking her. It's like you can't ask questions or have opinions on that particular platform without getting attacked. And, I've always welcomed differing opinions here. I have people on here that don't agree with me on certain topics, but we have our common topics that we discuss. Thank you, Catherine. As I said last week, the reason for the shirt is that the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force has reported on dozens of occasions that I am an FBI operative. They've also reported on dozens of occasions that I am working with the Central Intelligence Agency. So I figured as long as they have designated me as being affiliated with these two agencies, I might as well play the part. So, they seem to have this thing for this channel. I see comments every once in a while. But getting back, let me bring up okay, what I didn't bring any of these in here. That's what the problem is. Let me go over and see if I've got them on it. But there's a couple of posts that I singled out to kind of give you the flavor, or the feel, as it were, of what's going on over there. So this is something that was put up that is an indication that a number of people over there are getting confused about where they stand and what's going on with David Straight. Because remember, David Straight is said to be the person between Tim Homeseth and the former president. Now, if this turns out not to be the case, or that David Straight turns out not to be legitimate, then one would want to wonder why Tim Homeseth is still saying he's one man from the former president of the United States, if that man was in fact David Straight, which has been alluded to since this saga began. Now, also, this thing with these 2,100 kids being rescued from caves in California is said to have also come from David Straight, as Tim Homeseth alluded to in his other post. And now he's turned his back on that. So basically what's happening is Tim is basically backing away from all these rumors that he based his existence on. He's based everything he's done on these rumors and conspiracy theories. And now all of a sudden he's saying, well, maybe they're not true because David Straight was the source of all this information. And on top of everything else, David Straight is a child trafficker and a murderer, according to Timothy Homeseth, and he's also accusing him of being a working for Joe Biden instead of Donald Trump, and all sorts of things. It's the same thing over and over again. And so Butterfly Mama has gotten into a dispute, and now someone that says they are Butterfly Mama's mother has also gotten in the middle of this mess. So we don't know what exactly is going on over there. The thing of it is, they're saying anybody, Catherine, that they don't agree with or disagree with them, we're automatically trafficking in children. This has been a pattern that Homeseth has done from the beginning, way back years ago. This is what started the business with Kim Picasio. She would not let him in on the Cummings case, so he labeled her a child trafficker and all this other nonsense. Dwayne, thanks for asking. Yeah, both Amber and the kitty are around. Every once in a while you'll hear the kitty making noises because she is exploring. And Amber is sitting quietly, behaving herself for once. She usually comes flying in here to get on the show, but she didn't do that tonight. And the cat, being a cat, is exploring her new digs. This is, Homeseth says this, I used to have Fireman John in here as a wrench, and he immediately got accused of being associated with the Delphi murders of all things by Timmy and company, and being accused of all sorts of things. And this is what Timmy does. Now, for some strange reason that I really can't figure out, they are obsessed with this show. Now, this is a channel I normally get between 5 and 20 participants in active chat. I have a little over 1,100 subscribers right now, so the channel's kind of stalemated. And they have their channel with thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers. The PPTF on Telegram has like 500 subscribers, and it's pretty active, and so on and so forth. So I don't understand what the problem is with me and this channel. And it's been this way for years. Tim has been basically putting me on a microscope for years. And yet people over there say, well, Mert, why are you so obsessed about Timmy? Well, it's about the fact that, number one, Timmy accuses me of being a serial killer, serial rapist, looking like a gangster, being involved in the Delphi murders and all this nonsense. And the second part of it is that Tim Holmseth claims to be the spokesperson for this mysterious PPTF. He is one man removed from the former president of the United States. Now, this makes Tim Holmseth a public figure, much like David Straight's a public figure, Mike Pence is a public figure, and so forth. So on and so forth. Now, what happens is, when you are a public figure, especially when you're affiliating yourself with the federal government, you are subject to being scrutinized by the general public. First of all, as being representative of a former president in this all-important PPTF, you are speaking as if you are getting your information from reliable sources such as branches of the federal government, the courts, and celebrities like Lynn Wood, General Flynn, and David Straight, as well as Juan O'Sullivan, who is supposedly the reincarnated JFK Jr., who is also called a fraud. We also have him supposedly connected to other notable celebrities that themselves are public figures because of their fame. But yeah, that's true, Glow. But this is it's gotten increasingly intense between the group and Butterfly as time has gone on. She is strongly standing for her ground, so to speak, and they don't like it. She's not going to fold, and she's basically going tit for tat with them. But this is what these people do. They are paranoid. And it's all instigated by Timmy and company. Yeah, Screwy Louie's another one of these that I don't know. But anyway, to get into what I'm going to be doing next week, I'm going to be examining something that happened that is very coincidental to the situation here. And I'm going to entitle that one tentatively as the strange legacy. And it's the person whose legacy I'm going to be talking about that is going to be this, going to be the subject, and it will be who the individual is going to be withheld until that time. But I doubt it's something very few people on here would have heard about. And the reason I am going to bring this up is because it does relate to Timmy in some way. And, I don't know if you could call it it could have been, but okay, just trying to get my train of thought back. That's what I get for reading chats. I was reading Telegram over there and the drama that's going on, but this particular situation kind of explains why we should be concerned about what HomeSeth is doing and what people that are supportive of HomeSeth are doing, because this is something that it's a parallel situation, or was, and the similarities are quite striking. So you're going to want to keep out or stand by for that next week. It'll be a Saturday Murtathon. I have basically decided to cut these down for the time being to 1 day a week, and that 1 day is going to be Saturday for doing the Murtathons. It's a combination of a time element. I have a lot of things on my docket right now, and I'm also I don't have enough material at the moment that would support having multiple Murtathons on Saturday and Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's just not enough there that would make it worthwhile for everybody to tune in for all those times. I would rather spend the time doing research and preparing for my Saturday streams. And it's, as these people continue to isolate themselves, they just are not that important anymore, except from the standpoint is it's kind of entertaining to watch these people fall into the abyss or fall off a cliff, or whatever metaphor you want to use, because that's what's going on. They are destroying themselves from within. They are receding, so to speak. Now, I did find it rather interesting that Timothy HomeSeth has started up his blog again, the WordPress blog. Apparently it's been going since June 1st of the month. And what he's basically doing is he's putting stuff that he puts up on his BitChute channel over here on his blog. Now, he said David Street is behind new Q post. Timothy HomeSeth reporting on Jesus Strand / JFK Jr. hoax, speeded up New World Order timeline. Now, this is basically, he has turned completely against David Straight. David Straight is behind new Q posts. It has been announced there are new Q posts. Evidence shows David Lester Straight and others. Straight's cohort, retired General Michael Flynn, is behind the resurrection of Q. Q is being used as a desperate effort to promote David Straight's state national agenda being staged out of his new embassy for the Republic of Texas in Keene, Texas. And, come in. Kitty. Huh. I scared her off. Mittens was staring at me from the floor, and when I patted my lap, she took off. Skittish little thing tonight. Usually if I make a noise or something, she comes running, but she's still in explore mode. Anyway, he's tying in David Strait with General Flynn, going after David Strait, calling him out, so to speak. So, he's turning against his former allies. This is what he does. And here's the woman who says David Strait carries the Jesus strand. And he's claiming that in 2009 he infiltrated the CIA finders and FBI agent using the alias John Regan, which is patently false because John Regan is deceased, and he was deceased. And, Timmy keeps bringing that up. And David Strait was supposedly viewing a video of Mike Pence raping a little boy. So he's spreading this rumor around. Strait told me that he was appointed by Donald J. Trump to 3 presidential commissions regarding judicial corruption, human trafficking, and Space Force. So he's attacking him for those claims. And I reported Strait introduced me to a woman he said was Mary Magdalene, who was going to have a baby that saves the world. And Tim didn't debunk any of this until just now. This is the thing. Timmy will believe you as long as you pay attention to him. But if you decide that it's time to move on, Timmy won't let you. And Strait, he made a little list here. Strait said, he first saw Marcy on Facebook. She needed help to get her kids back from a corrupt court. God told him to travel to California to meet her. She just glued. Showed a photo of Mary Magdalene he printed off the web. Said Marcy looks just like Magdalene. Said this to former Minnesota Judge Randy Lynn Erickson. Said it was imperative he get Marcy's kids back. Said he met with a U.S. court judge. Tried to arrange for U.S. military special forces to extract Marcy's kids from their father. Now, this is all stuff that Timmy's known for years. Marcy told Strait, I'm about to go rogue. I'm about to go to the FBI. Marcy told me she found a boot in her closet that contained SD cards hidden there by her ex-husband that contained child porn. She described a little girl rolling back and forth on the bed crying, I don't want to be daddy's princess. Now, I don't know what this Marcy Crandall thing is all about, but if there were, bye Joker, thanks for coming in, did any of this stuff get reported to the authorities? It's hard to know. But, this is the wild things that are happening now on this blog, which was shut down. Basically, all he's doing is he's transferring all his stuff over to the blog in an attempt to expand his audience, I guess. And he's getting it gets put on here so people understand what he's up to. But it's one thing after another. So, that's basically where we're at tonight. It's the same stuff over and over again. I did want to point out Sarah's channel and encourage everybody to go over there, because it's interesting to see different perspectives on people researching all this stuff and forming their own conclusions. And that's all one can be expected to do. Don't take anything from anyone at face value. Research, try and find out backup information so if you can determine if all the stuff is true or not. I'm certain that, if you have an open mind, you're going to understand that Homeseth is full of it. And I have a feeling that the truth is going to come out. On another note, there are things in the works that I am still waiting to hear on, that over the next month or two are going to possibly alter the lives of people. I have to keep this information private for now, because I would be interfering with things, so I have decided to just hold on to this information until the time comes. Now, also in closing, I would like to discuss something. I had intended on doing a full video on this, but I've decided it probably wouldn't be pertinent right now, and that is what is going on with radio news. I'm getting increasing evidence that she is active on the Homeseth boards. I know that it is likely she's behind some of the rather peculiar posts that are going on over there. So, what we're doing, what she is doing, as it turns out, is she did something that everybody does, or a lot of people are starting to do, and that's called downsizing or minimalizing. And that is that she no longer has a permanent residence. She got rid of her townhouse, no longer renting anywhere. She went out and she purchased an RV. And I found this out through the way I normally check on our activities, so she does own an RV. Radio was something of a tomboy. She grew up on the farm. She always said that she was into RVs and camping and doing things in the woods and hunting and all this stuff. So she is basically out there traveling the country, either in an RV or she's gotten herself a vehicle and she's stuffed camping gear in it, and she is basically camping. Now, she is on Social Security, full Social Security, as well as she has the pension from the AT&T during the big operator layoff. So she's sitting pretty good money-wise. And so you're never going to know where radio is at any given time. She could be here in Florida, she could be up in Minnesota, out in Arizona, anywhere she feels like being. And from what I understand, she did some poking around and found out about all these rewards that are being offered for the arrest of Tim Homeseth. And since radio likes a challenge, it would appear that she is going to figure out a way to cash in on that reward by getting those two arrested somehow. And so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Now, unfortunately, I don't have an absolute way of confirming all this information. It's based on patterns that I'm seeing and just information that I've been able to cobble together over the past few weeks that lead me to believe that this is exactly what radio is doing. That she is running around the country looking for these two. And if Timmy remembers radio, he should remember that she is a determined woman who does not like him at all. She doesn't like me either, but that's different. But her target has always been Homestead. She's out to get him. Yeah, I guess I'm not the only one good at multitasking. But that's the latest on radio. Probably isn't going to be productive to talk. My FBI is getting all wrinkled. It's probably not going to do much good to talk about radio anymore because there's nothing to report. She's out there. There's no way of tracking her down right now. So we got to just wait and see if Timmy and Randy suddenly turn up in a mugshot. Because that may be what radio is up to. It's hard to say. But I'm going to do one last check. Oh, somebody sent me. Yeah, thanks for that. That's kind of interesting. Oh, I remember who she is. Okay. Well, yeah, it would be interesting, but yeah, if you ever knew the background of radio, you would understand that I never even knew that she sent that. That's interesting. Old, but you know. But okay, I think we're just doing the last check. I may have to do this one in. They weighed in on Roe v. Wade, which is, yeah, I kind of figured he would. But that's getting into politics, and I don't think I'm going to be discussing that. One last check of turdgram. Nope, they're getting spammed. They got this Princess Diana thing that went up on Telegram, and they're falling for that. They're falling for the McAfee thing and all this other nonsense. So, alright folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off. I appreciate everybody coming in. For those out there that have not done so, I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and share. And have a good weekend, what's left of it, good Sunday, all that. Kind of having a heat wave here in Florida. It's going to kind of temperament a little bit. It rained most of the day today, which helped. But y'all have a good day tomorrow. Make it a good day. and all that. And please come back next week to see something that is going to be a little bit different, I think. And I'll be doing segments like this in the future. There may be a surprise subject like I did with Sarah sometime down the road. But yeah, I'm just trying to find ways to come up with things interesting to you folks. So, good night. Have a good one. Oh, come here. Bring me that. Hey, Amber. All right, we're going to have a twofer here. I got a couple guests. Ah! Okay, Amber, say goodbye to everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. Whoop, whoop. All right, one down. Trade you. There's Cheryl in the background, by the way. All right. All right. There's Mittens for everybody that was asking about Mittens. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah. Yeah, that's my new buddy and the mascot here. Good old Mittens. Meow. Okay, Mittens. Time for it to go night-night. And there you go. You got twofers. All right. And good night, everybody, and have a good weekend, what's left of it.